I'm not the man I promised I would be. At 22 with all that certainty, I'm not the man I promised I would be. But I'm still working on the gap between the promise and the man that showed up here, the dream and the decade and the year. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but Lord, I'm trying harder than I've tried in years. I made those promises in good faith, understand. I meant every single word at 22. I was gonna be the father and the husband who showed up and followed through. I had a list inside my head of what I'd never be, the kind of man my own father was. And I've crossed off some of them and kept some others, and the ones I kept are the ones that cut the most. There's a cruelty in becoming what you swore you'd recognize and stop before it grew. But the patterns that your parents carved in childhood have a way of being more than you knew. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but I'm not the man I was at 43. I'm somewhere in the middle of the distance between the boy who made the promise and the gray. I'm working on the gap, I'm closing it slowly, not as fast as people need it, not as clean as I had planned. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but I'm a better man than yesterday, a better man than yesterday. My wife still has the letter that I wrote her the night before our wedding in the church. She takes it out sometimes and doesn't say much, just folds it back and puts it where it works. I've asked her if she wants to throw it out now. She says no, and that's all that she will say. I think she keeps it not to hold it over me, but to remember who I was that day. And I think there's mercy in a woman who keeps the evidence of who you meant to be, not as a weapon, but as a reminder that the man who wrote that letter is still me. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but I'm not the man I was at 43. I'm somewhere in the middle the gray. I'm working on the gap, I'm closing it slowly. Not as fast as people need it, not as clean as I had planned. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but I'm a better man than yesterday. A better man than yesterday. So I'm standing on this porch on a Thursday evening, watching the light go out across the yard. And I'm making the same promise from a different angle, not from certainty, but from working hard. Not I will be, but I am working toward it. Not I promise, but I'm showing up today. Not the finished article, but the honest effort of a man who finally learned the only way. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but tonight I'm on the porch and I'm present. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but my wife is in the kitchen and I know it. And tomorrow I will get up before sunrise, and I'll try again the way I tried today. I'm not the man I promised I would be, but Lord, I'm closer than I was, and that's enough to stay, that's enough to stay. I'm not the man I promised I would be, not yet, but I'm trying every morning. Casseroles start coming to the door. 3 days after the funeral, the quiet settles in like never before. 3 days after the funeral, the world outside resumes its regular speed. 3 days after the funeral is when the grief really shows you what it needs. The first day there were people in the kitchen, voices and arrangements in the blur. The second day we buried him at 10 o'clock, and someone held me up for most of it, I'm sure. But 3 days after, on a Tuesday morning, the house was just a house the way it's always been, except his chair was empty at the table, and the coffee cup was mine, and only mine. I sat there till the coffee went completely cold, not thinking anything as big as grief, just noticing the way the light came through the curtains, the way it always had, without relief. 3 days after the funeral is the loneliest morning I have ever known. funeral is when you understand what alone really means. Beneath the condolences, beneath the flowers and the casseroles in the hands, 3 days after the funeral is just you and the chair and the cup and trying to understand. I called his number from the hallway on Wednesday. I knew I just needed to hear the voicemail that said leave a message after, in the voice that I've been hearing 40 years. I called it 7 times before I stopped myself, sat down on the floor beside the wall and let the grief do what the grief needs doing when there's nothing left to manage in the hall. My daughter found me there at noon. She sat down on the floor without a word. She took my hand the way he used to take it when I was small enough to need it and be heard. 3 days after the funeral is the loneliest morning I have ever known. 3 days after the funeral is when you understand what alone really means. Beneath the condolences, beneath the flowers and the casseroles in the hands, 3 days after the funeral, it's just you and the chair and the cup and trying to understand. People say he's in a better place and mean it. People say he'd want you to move on with life, and I believe them in the abstract of the saying. But on the floor beside the wall, it cuts like a knife. Because I don't want him in a better place right now. I want him at that table with his cup. I want one more argument about the weather. I want one more chance to tell him what adds up. To love the kind that looks like ordinary Tuesday, the kind that lives in coffee cups and chairs, the kind you only see the shape of clearly when you're sitting on the floor and it's no longer there. 3 days after the funeral, my daughter held my hand beside the wall. 3 days after the funeral, we sat there till the evening in the hall. And somewhere in that silence between us, I felt something that I recognized as him. 3 days after the funeral, he was in the floor, he was in the light, he was in my daughter's hand, holding me within. He was there with him. 3 days after the funeral, 3 days after the funeral, 3 days After the funeral, the casserole stopped coming to the door. 3 days after, man, I almost was. Life somewhere down the road not taken. The man I almost was is out there living in a life I left forsaken. The man I almost was stayed home that night in '98. The man I almost was is everything I think about when it gets late. There's a crossroads I still drive past on occasion, on the south side of a town I used to know, where one road goes to everything I chose here, and the other goes to everything I let go. In '98 I stood right at that crossroads with a woman and a question and a chance. I chose the one that felt like fewer shackles, and the other became somebody else's dance. I don't regret the life I chose exactly. I regret the way I chose it without thought. I regret the things I treated as expendable that turned out to be everything I sought. The man I almost was probably content with ordinary mornings. The man I almost was probably never learned the highway or its warnings. He's got the same eyes and the same stubbornness. He's got the same flaws wrapped in different choices. The man I almost was is out there somewhere, and I wonder sometimes if he wonders about me in the quiet voices. I saw her once about 10 years after, at a grocery store in Nashville in the fall. She had a little girl who had her mother's eyes, and a husband who looked like he answered every call. I hid behind the cereal, which is cowardly, and watched her laugh at something that he said. And I drove home trying to figure out the feeling. Was it grief or just the ghost of a road not led? I think it wasn't grief for her specifically. I think it was the grief of seeing proof that the life you didn't choose still got chosen by a version of yourself that told the truth. The man I almost was chose her in the morning and the staying. The man I almost was gave up the highway For the ordinary Sunday and the coffee, for the argument that ends with both still there. The man I almost was understood that the extraordinary thing was being everywhere. She needed him right there. I'm not the man I almost was, and that's honest. I'm the man I am, which is a harder road. But I've been making peace with the decisions and learning what the harder road has owed. Because the man I almost was might have his mornings, but the man I am has 30 years of real. And real has got a texture that the almost never gets to feel, even when the real is what the almost might have healed. The man I almost was, I hope he's doing well down that other road. The man I almost was, I hope he knows the weight he didn't have to hold. I hope he looks both ways before his crossroads. I hope he tells her every single thing on time. The man I almost was is someone I can finally wish well in my mind. Finally wish well in my mind. The man I almost was, the man I almost was, out there somewhere, living something good. The man I almost was, I finally let him go. I finally let him go. The man I almost was, the man I almost was. Life somewhere down the road, not taken. The man I almost was is out there living in a life I left forsaken. Everything I built with the wrong hands came down eventually. Everything I built with the wrong hands was never really built for we. Everything I built with the wrong hands was solid on the outside, cold within. Everything I built with the wrong hands was the architecture of a man who couldn't let love in. I built a house with 30 years of labor, 3 bedrooms and a porch and a good view. I picked the lot, I poured the foundation, I did most of it myself, which I thought would do. But a house is not a home, and I knew the difference between the structure and the life inside the walls. And I was better at the nails than at the living, better at the building than the cause. My wife used to walk through every finished room and say it's beautiful, and I would beam and never understand that what she wanted was for me to be as present as my beams. Everything I built with the wrong hands stood up fine against the wind and the rain. Everything I built with the wrong hands just couldn't hold the people to the frame. I built a house, but I didn't build a marriage. I built a structure, but I missed the soul. Everything I built with the wrong hands was impressive from the outside, but it couldn't make us whole. She left in the spring and I stayed in the house like a caretaker for something no one owned. I painted and I fixed and I kept the gutters clean, like maintenance could make a house a home. 6 months I lived in my own craftsmanship, perfect walls and perfect floors and perfect code. And I finally understood what she'd been trying to explain to me for years before she told. The house was never what she needed from me. The house was what I gave instead of showing up. A man can build a kingdom of deflection, still die of thirst inside the cup. Everything I built with the wrong hands stood up fine against the wind and the rain. Everything I built with the wrong hands just couldn't hold the people to the frame. I built a house, but I didn't build a marriage. I built a structure, but I missed the soul. Everything I built with the wrong hands was impressive from the outside, but it couldn't make us whole. I sold the house last August to a young couple. She was pregnant and he looked afraid and glad. And I shook his hand and said, take care of it. And what I meant was everything I never had. The courage to be present in the morning, the willingness to be the thing she needs. Not the carpenter, the builder, the provider, but the man who puts the hammer down and sees everything I built with the wrong hands. I'm learning how to build with the right ones now. Everything I built with the wrong hands taught me what a home requires and how it's not the wood, it's not the roof or the foundation. It's the staying and the saying and the grace. Everything I built with the wrong hands is gone now, and I'm building something better in its place. Something better in its place. Everything I built with the wrong hands, everything I built, everything starting over. Right hands now, right hands now.